Welcome back to Rundle's Urban Farm. It's Hannah here, and I'm going to take you on a tour of our garden today, show you the produce that we're starting to get, or that we'll be getting soon, and just give you a little rundown of how things are going. This is our week 7 tour, although it's a little bit late. Enjoy! So here we have our winter squash, and they are finally starting to vine up the trellis a bit, having to do still quite a bit of training them onto the trellis, but soon they should be taking off. Lots of blossoms lately, and the bees have definitely been enjoying them. And we've got some more over here starting to climb. And then our tomatoes, this last week I really heavily pruned this side and got them all tied up onto the trellis, and like I said, that was about a week ago, and they have already grown a great deal more from the last place I tied them, so I need to tie them up again, but that's really great. And then on this side, just more of the string tying here, and we've got lots of little baby tomatoes in here. You can spot them, some big ones. These are going to be Cherokee purple, and they will probably be the first ready large slicer tomatoes that we get. And then here's some more that are coming on, and I believe these ones are the black crims. And this guy is just full of little tomatoes. And then over here, this tomato plant on the end, right there, that is one plant, and it is far bigger than all the rest of our tomato plants, and it's taking up space on 2 trellises. And this here is one of our trial slicing tomato varieties, and it is the first to produce some green tomatoes. That is the Smiley. The German pink, I think, also has some, but I'm not spotting them at the moment. The rest of the tomatoes. And here we have some pepper plants. This one is a violet sparkle pepper, and you can see the purple color of that pepper there. It'll eventually turn red underneath when it's ripe. And we've got a large crop of basil, which I'll make pesto with soon. And we've got a very full purple jalapeno plant. Those are some other peppers that aren't producing yet, as are those. And the rosemary is finally getting big. And we have zucchini. Now the bugs were eating this, so this brown powder on the leaves, that's actually cinnamon, and it tends to deter any bugs or critters because of the spiciness of it. So I'm hoping that keeps the bugs away so that I can actually start getting zucchini off of these. They have especially liked the yellow zucchini, but this one looks like it might make it. The other ones I've had to just pull off because they were so bug eaten. And then here we have our lovely Black Beauty zucchini, and These are gray zucchini here. These are funny because typically zucchini are long and skinny, but these guys are short and squatty. The last one I picked looked kind of like a green pumpkin. And here we have our mystery squash, which is starting to climb the trellis. Our cantaloupe, which is doing pretty well. I harvested the garlic this week, so you don't see any more garlic, but you see all the onions there. And then I planted some watermelon from seed because the ones hi Nolly. The ones that I originally started early did not survive, except for that one back there. Right there. All right. And then nothing has been growing very well in this area, so I'm just letting the volunteer cosmos and the sunflowers take over. And I moved chamomile from the front yard up here. This is our volunteer compost pile squash. I'm not quite sure what variety this is. We thought it was maybe a pumpkin, but that doesn't look like a pumpkin to me. I think it may be a buttercup cross-pollinated with a pumpkin, or just a buttercup. I'm not sure. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Here's our flower garden, the chickens, and then over here we have our bush beans, and I'm thinking either they are about to start flowering or they haven't started yet because it's been so hot. Beans are finicky when it comes to temperature. This is called Love in a Mist, and it's about to bloom. These are super cool little spidery looking flowers when they bloom. Here we've got lettuce, and this got decimated by deer a couple weeks ago, and it's now ready to harvest again. We've got some basil hiding in there. Cosmos are providing nice shade for some of these plants. And this, I believe this is a banana pepper. And there's another banana pepper back at the back. And some other, I think these are poblanos, they're not ready yet. And the guy in the middle here, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Some carrots. Our eggplant are starting to take off. More carrots. These are candy cane sweet peppers. You can kind of see, maybe on this one is a better example. They're a little bit stripy, but they're going to be kind of turning red and green stripy when they get ripe. More peppers, cilantro, and then here, these are our first little bell peppers that you can see. I've never had a bell pepper get bigger than this, so that's super exciting. And carrots and winter squash. Here we have our container winter squashes, and they are going gangbusters, but it gets to be about noon and they are completely wilted and look like they're dead. And so we water them, and then it gets to be 3 o'clock and they're completely wilted again. So they're not really appreciating the heat, I think, especially because they're in black containers that heat up fast. So this morning I put straw on top of them, and I'm hoping that keeps in the moisture and keeps them a little cooler. I did that with the beans a couple of days ago, and it's really helped a lot. The beans are still not starting to climb. I did plant a few new ones, and we'll see if those catch up and take off. And these ones are just maybe stunted. You can see here at the top of this trellis, I just have the garlic that we harvested curing. And then this is another winter squash along with a tomato. And then here, these are cool. Those are gonna be kaleidoscopic jewel tomatoes, and they're a little cherry that's very colorful. And our runner beans are still making their way up the trellis, but having a rough time of it. And over here we've got our bagged winter squash that are growing in the fabric bags. You can see. Now they get pretty good sun and pretty good heat being on the concrete here, but because I planted them from seed when it was absolutely the hottest week that we've had so far, they aren't minding the heat too much, and they don't wilt like my other squash. So that's been pretty nice. They might start wilting if it gets cold because they're so used to the heat, but so far they're enjoying the summer and really taking off and catching everything else rather quickly. Here are the grow bag tomatoes, and they are really happy in their compost soil and getting super big. So right here are our cucumber plants, and they have just gone gangbusters in this heat. They are starting to climb the trellis, and you can see there are some little baby cucumbers somewhere under here. I think right there. See, there's one. This is the front garden bed number 1, and right here we have our 3 habanada peppers. And the habanadas are like a habanero, but they do not have any spiciness to them, which is good because we're not very good at handling the heat. This is the 3rd front garden bed. And we've got our heirloom kabocha here, our hybrid kabocha, and our acorn squash, and they're taking off. We've got some onions. And back in here, there are some beets, which I will harvest pretty soon. And then gladiolas just for some added beauty in another month or so. Thank you for checking out the garden with me. I hope that you enjoyed seeing what we have growing, and looking forward to seeing you back next time.